Operator at a court safety hearing while Maxell was on an authorized break.
It's been an ongoing practice on light duty, how it's operated, and he did nothing wrong, and I think the facts will come to bear in this case, but in the meantime, they're going to have him sitting on the couch with the threat of his livelihood.
The union believes Maxwell is being punished for pushing for safety. The MTA says this is a personnel issue and cannot comment any further.
Thank everybody for coming out today. There's a lot of things that's going on, not just here in the city, but all across the country in terms of the attacks on public employees. And what is happening in this country is that there was a time a couple years ago when corporations were under attack for taking taxpayers' money and giving away huge bonuses to upper-level managers on Wall Street and a lot of other companies. And since that time, things have been kind of turned on their head. A lot of people, because of the press and because of corporate America's ability to manipulate the press and the print media, electronic media, has created a schism amongst working people where a lot of people in the private sector who have lost jobs and where they made a lot of money are now blaming public employees when everybody should be pulled together to fight a common enemy. I don't look at people who have lost jobs as being an enemy or people who have jobs as being the enemy. A lot of the things that we have now in terms of benefits, wages, working conditions, etc., we fought very hard for down through the years, early part of the 20th century, up to now. Here in the city workers are under a huge attack by downtown corporate America, Committee on Jobs, Rescue Muni, which is supposed to be a community group, Spurs, and people like that. What's happening now with a lot of here at Muni is that a lot of Democrats, so-called Democrats, put up a lot of money and they want to negotiate our contract via the ballot box. And a lot of people here at Muni can tell you about a lot of the very punitive policies and measures that we've been the victim of, and it's no different than what a lot of other people are going through around the country and here in the city. And right now we're fighting the situation. It's not just something that's isolated to us. Like I said, it's something that a lot of people are fighting all over. This rally today is for a good friend of mine, Dorian, who is up for termination because he was a whistleblower. He was a whistleblower. He was an operator who basically what he did was he blew the whistle on some upper-level management people who didn't really know what the Sunshine Task Force. A lot of people don't know that operators are being fired here for stuff like PSR, where you can't face your accuser. There's no due process. In Dorian's case, he on light duty. He was hurt on the job, and they're saying he was being dishonest for something kind of like really stupid, for some policies that management set up about how light duty is to be done. But I look at a lot of this stuff as being like kind of like fascist stuff, where you're not supposed to speak up, you're not supposed to say anything, and you're supposed to just go by what somebody else says. They don't even want you to think anymore. I like to believe that a lot of people don't like to work and live under those kind of conditions, whether it be on the job or just being a citizen in any community. What I like for everybody to do is, what we ought to do is make phone calls, write letters, and maybe we ought to have a big rally. We're talking about having a big rally real soon, and going downtown, letting everybody know how we really feel about a lot of this stuff.
Morning, I guess it's afternoon, everyone. When you're retired, you can't always tell one from the other. But I'll tell you what, there's no retirement from the kind of attacks that are coming down on working people. I'm on a pension and Social Security, and I know full well that the next step after coming after all the active people is to try and figure out a loophole to cut our stated pension, which is supposed to be a guarantee. Under this capitalist system where everything's about money for the corporations and using tax money for wars and for bailing out the big guys, there's no such thing as a golden years or a secure pension. We're all under attack. Just to briefly summarize the issues at Muni, the main thing I think there's two aspects. One is economic, that they're trying to resolve the budget deficit on the backs of passengers and drivers, and also on the backs of the very youngest, newest workers, people that are like my grandchildren, who are looking for a stable job. And the way they're doing that is transferring full-time work into part-time work. That will definitely cut existing drivers' wages. It's going to eliminate 7.5% of full-time jobs at Muni. It's going to introduce 8,000 or more hours per week of part-time work. That will then, the result of that will be a cut in service. This is something they're not talking about. They're talking about how they have to cut the drivers' benefits and wages and take-home pay because they have to use that money for service. But the implementation of a part-time labor force will be a cut in service. It's a very racist cut because it's particularly aimed at off-peak service when the seniors are going to the doctor on the weekend, when people who aren't employed have to use transit to get around in midday and the evening. So not only is this a racist attack on the passengers, it's also a racist attack on the mainly minority workforce, which is Black and Latin, Asian, and immigrants are the predominant workers in the Muni workforce. And if anyone who's lived and worked in San Francisco for Muni knows that there's always a tinge of racist attacks and racist rhetoric when it comes to attacking the Muni drivers. The other aspect of the takeaways in this contract is that they've gutted the grievance procedure, which was needed to protect Muni drivers who have a very political job. When the city wants to attack transit because it's not functioning, the first thing they do is manufacture an attack on the drivers. They've also eliminated any ability of the drivers to go outside of Muni management, which is again a politically driven organization, to seek any kind of grievances. The final thing is an attack on health and safety, which as a senior I can tell you is the most vital thing for us at Muni. I have a bad back. My particular physiology I didn't get high blood pressure, but high blood pressure is a major medical occupational hazard which kills Muni drivers. We had language in our contract that allowed us to grieve and protest schedules based on health and safety. That's been taken out. It will also impact the health and safety of the passengers. So this is a contract struggle that goes beyond Muni drivers. It's impacting passengers, it's impacting the unborn and our grandchildren and children who are looking for a steady full-time job, and it's impacting most directly the drivers. So I urge all of you, when we have rallies, to come join us. Please spread the word. The word is vote no on this contract.
What I would say is fairly obvious to anybody that's probably standing out here right now. And that is that if things don't change in a radical way, namely a general strike, 5 years from now, there probably won't be any unions. And if they are, they've sold out so many of our rights that they won't really mean anything. They'll just collect our dues. 2 years from now, if things don't change, chances are there won't be any pensions coming out from the public employees in the future. of the Wisconsin uprising. Now, things have settled down. Who's going to benefit from it? There's only one group that's going to benefit from what happened in Wisconsin, and that's the Democratic Party. They will elect people, perhaps, get them into office, and the Democrats will come out and they'll say, we support the union's right to negotiate. However, we don't support the union's right for good wages or benefits. Goodbye pension plan. This is a scam that's being run by our union leadership and the Democratic Party against us. That's about all I got to say, except that our answer is the general strike. If we're not talking about the general strike, we're wasting our time. If we're talking about hanging out with the Democratic Party, we're wasting our time. We're not looking at the reality of the situation. Thank you very much.
I just wanted to say that Dorian's being railroaded on these charges. All Dorian's trying to do, like a lot of us, is trying to maintain safety in our system. If you just over here, we have ETI coaches that have automatic shutoffs. They shut off automatically, and there's a power failure, and you lose control of the coach. I was in a situation back on March 12th or 13th when I was driving down Mission Street, and I had a power failure on my coach, and almost hit parked cars because of it. The wheel was jerked out of my hands, and I had no control of the vehicle. I was unable to steer it. And when I took it to Muni authorities, they made some smoke, but they've given me no answers. They can't explain what's happening. So we have a fleet of ETI coaches that they don't understand, and they don't know how to safely maintain. I made a safety complaint about the condition of the 7,000 series coaches, and 2 days later I was written up twice for being late and within an hour. So you make a safety complaint and drivers are persecuted, drivers are attacked, and we're being charged with ridiculous charges as far as being late. You can only drive these coaches safely at a very slow speed, and for some of them not at all. So I want to ask all of you to join us and fight for Muni safety and fight for fairness to workers. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen, brothers and sisters. I'm also an active member of the National Riders Union on the local Bay Area chapter in Jersey City.
Right through this way.
The people you're fighting here are the same people that we fought at BART. Nathan Ford, Jack Haley, all those people came from BART, and probably the author behind all this is a guy named Larry Williams. Larry Williams was the author of the previous Proposition E. Now, don't be afraid of a strike, although I don't necessarily think that's absolutely the only tactic we can use. But you can't be replaced by these supervisors. No train operator, no bus operator at Muni, no train operator at BART, no bus operator at AC Transit, no bus operator at Golden Gate Transit, no bus operator at Samtrans, no bus operator in this country can be replaced, and your training and certifications are not current for your current management. Nathan Ford can't drive a bus, and Jack Haley can't drive a bus. He can harass you all you want, but they can't drive a bus safely, and they're not certified by the Public Utilities Commission to do so. So you got a weapon in your hands, be prepared to use it as best you see how. I've fought these same people for years, and I know who's behind them. There are 18 billionaires in San Francisco that are funding initiatives like the racist, sexist Proposition G that is being used to to attack you. When the Examiner and the Chronicle tell you there's been no collective bargaining going on at Muni, that's an absolute, total, expletive lie. It's an absolute lie. Bargaining has been going on, and collective bargaining has been going on at Muni, at BART, all the transit agencies since the late 1890s, all the way through the 1900s, and most of the lousy stuff that they want to take away has been stuff that management has proposed. Management proposed some of those work rules that now they want to take away. So when you get ready to fight those billionaires. We have the people power to fight those billionaires. We can put people on the streets. 43% of Muni workers live in the city of San Francisco. Those 43% people can be mobilized to carry out election activities against things like Proposition G, and all we got to do is a lot of hard work. We're going to work hard anyway, and if our contracts and our working conditions get worse, we're going to work even harder. Proposition G is slave plantation mentality, and we got to stop it now. Vote down the contract, support Julian, support the ILWU, link up with all the other public transit unions, and put them on one hell of a fight that they can't win.
Thanks for all the support. The real corporate is up there in that office over there in that corner over there to the left. I filed several health and safety complaints, filed sunshine ordinance requests to get documents, and this lady wants to retaliate against me to get me out of this system because I know too much about what they're doing. When I'm a whistleblower, you report to a government agency about the health and safety and the working conditions and where public money is going. These people are doing fraudulent activity. As you can see what's going on with some of these. You see the yard over there is full of buses. They're not working on them. They're not fixing them. They don't have cars to fix them. But the thing of the matter is they're trying to hang me for their personal vendetta against me. It's personal. It's not business. It's personal. And I thank everyone for coming out here today, and I urge a no vote on this contract. And I urge for a general strike because we need it. And the general strike must start here in San Francisco, just like Proposition G. Slave labor, slave mentality by slave-minded politicians who want to make things happen on our backside with our blood, sweat, and tears while they sit in their mansions, sit in their homes, and live like a hog on the slop off of our blood, sweat, and tears. But we got a message to send to them, and we got a message to send to these fake union leaders who aid them by attacking the workforce. We're not selling out, we're not for sale, and we can't be bought. So our thing is, we got to get together with all city workers, and all of us need to unite and shut this city down, effective immediately.
Actually, I'm really upset and I'm pissed off. How did we, the working class people, become the enemy? How did the teachers become the problem? The teachers and the students, the nurses and the patients, the firefighters and the public they serve, the transit operators and the passengers they serve. I'm fed up with the political process, Republicans, Democrats. I'm fed up with the bureaucrats. I'm fed up with the elected officers. And actually, I'm fed up with the rank and file. Because what do they have to do to us? Do they have to put our children back to work? Do they have to take away overtime? Child protection laws? Disability? They just dismantle
everything. So I'm not sure what we're gonna do. I'm not sure, but I know as working class people, if you're looking at this and you're looking for somebody to save you, look in the mirror, because only working class people are gonna save working class people. I'm saying this as a rank and file member of ATU 1555, and I believe in rallies and petitions and voting. However, I believe that when you look at Muni, AC Transit, BART, BTA, Golden Gate Transit, ILW, the nurses, we just need to shut the whole system down. Because the power we have is in the production of our labor. So good luck. I stand with you guys. I stand with all working class people, and not just union dues paying members, but all the working class. That means all the people that lost their homes with foreclosures. All the people that lost their benefits of unemployment, the Medi-Cal, cow work, disability. So I could go on and on, but it's just time to, we have to all look in the mirror